That's great. What's your name?
Dwayne.
Dwayne, I was just coming over there to show that, because everyone, and here's the thing, it's not like it's being hidden that there's people that are supportive, or it's being made up. The bottom line is, don't you agree that most people that are ranchers, they have something at stake? It's difficult for them to come out and to speak out publicly.
Here's the other thing that people don't understand. There's cattle to feed, there's dogs to feed, there's horses to feed, there's ice to break, there's hay to be hauled, there's equipment that needs wrenched on, there's fences. And we, in our opinion, if we're standing here like this, it's not accomplishing anything.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, if we've got everything done, all right, let's throw in a load of wood, run out there, we'll drop it off, and we'll visit. I came out here Monday about lunchtime. I stopped for lunch. I came out, hung around for about 2 hours, visited, and went back to work.
There you go.
And that's what most of the locals are going to do.
Right.
But you're right. We've all got a lot of stuff vested in the area.
That's right.
I mean, I have to deal with them.
Right.
And I've had real bad dealings with them.
Right.
You know, I raise and train dogs, guide hunters. I run a coyote hunting competition here. In the BLM.
Do you really?
No, I did.
Yeah, okay.
Until I lost to the animal terrorist in court. It cost me $15,000.
Oh, geez. Wow.
But the BLM kept calling me and making threatening phone calls. Well, if you have this coyote hunt, you can't get your special use permits to guide hunters on federal ground. You can't go on Forest Service. You can't go on BLM.
Wow.
You know what? I told them, they said, you have to tell your participants they're not allowed to hunt on BLM or Forest Service. I said, as a private citizen of the United States, I am not telling them that. And if you want to tell them that, you come to the meeting and you tell them that.
Yeah, right.
I refused. They said, well, if you get caught on federal ground, you're going to jail. I said, well, you just as well cuff me and take me right now.
And they keep referring to it as the federal ground, federal land, federal. Do you think
it's 100% legal to hunt in the national forest and on BLM if you have a hunting license? I paid my taxes. I paid my hunting license. You, me, you, anybody here that has a valid hunting license can go on BLM ground and hunt.
Yeah, that's right.
But they said, oh, you can't, because we've got 15,000 emails in opposition to your coyote hunting contest.
Oh, wow.
And then, when the animal terrorist out of California sued me in district court, I had 200 local ranchers. We went to the courthouse, 200 ranchers, and I walked right through the middle of them. How'd you like to be an animal terrorist from California?
Could you imagine?
That had to walk that gauntlet, and everyone was polite. And they walked up there, and what it ended up is I just couldn't hire lawyers anymore. I ran out of money.
You did. Yeah.
But, so I'm well aware of what the government does. It needs to be locally controlled.
Yeah.
And guys like
it
us,
does.
we're here trying to make a living. We don't need the government making it harder. But all these guys are away from their families. They're here standing up for us.
Yeah.
We're the ones that'll benefit from this whole fiasco.
Would you say, I've been hearing this term a lot and also saying it a lot lately, that right now we really need to consider that, especially with what the Bundys know about these land issues, that the Bundy family, okay, and the stand that they took then, that we have families in there, family members, that are helping other ranching families right now. That's what this is about, isn't it?
But that's what ranchers always do.
Yes, sir.
When there's a fire, you don't expect the BLM to save you.
Right.
You save your neighbor.
Yeah.
And your neighbor saves you.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what you do.
That's right. That's
You know,
right.
and that's what's going on here in a bigger scale. But
Yes,
if
sir.
they're here trying to help us, the least we can do is pack them some firewood.
Yeah, that's
Bring
right.
them some food. You know, at least let them know you guys aren't, regardless of what you hear in town, there's a big divide in the county between town and outside.
Yeah.
And that's because so much of town relies on the federal government for their paycheck. I've got a wife and a daughter. My wife's a school teacher. My little girl's 6 years old. I want nothing to do with it.
But you know, even if
I've got friends that work for the BLM or the Forest Service. Really good friends of mine.
right,
They have to make a living. They have to feed their families. But they don't need to overreach, and they don't need to run me out of business to feed their family. We can work together to manage this ground better than somebody in Washington, D.C. saying, oh, you can't graze that piece of ground because my calendar says it's bogus.
right.
They need to have a guy on the ground that's out there horseback, not even on a pickup, on the road, because the road edges all get grazed. Get on a horse and follow me up through these canyons and see grass chest high, literally, this green, in water holes that are overflowing. Why are we not using it? And if we don't use it, by July, it's all burned up.
Oh, really?
Burned up.
Yeah.
It was totally went to waste. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. Do you think we can get a positive result out of all this?
The positive result we're getting right now is
Awareness.
publicity.
Awareness. That's
Yeah,
right.
publicity in the fact that when Greg Walden talks about it on the House floor,
That's
Yeah.
right.
by gosh, it took something to get his attention.
Yeah.
And we got his attention.
Yes, sir.
I mean, we, meaning
Yes, we the people.
we the
We the
people.
people.
And the ranchers, yes.
You know, and not just the ranchers, because there's people, I do business with people all over the United States. They're calling me, and they know they've been here. We've been there. We've been to that refuge headquarters. It's a tourist attraction. The round barn down here, tourist attraction.
Right.
You have people come here to hunt, middle of the afternoon. They're, oh, let's go look around. What's this wildlife refuge? Part of the reason I bring them through here is to show government mismanagement, because they live in Vermont and don't understand. Oh, we have a national forest. It's 100 acres. Yeah, I have a pasture that's 6,000 acres. It's a whole different deal.
Right.
You know, and they just don't understand that you stand here and all the way to that hill and all the way to that hill is government controlled. Both ways. It's government controlled. All the
Right.
way, both ways. You can't do anything on it without their permission.
Who owns the dirt?
The people own the dirt.
Right. This land.
The people own all of it.
Period.
It's the Bureau of Land Management, not the Bureau of Land Ownership.
There you go. Boom.
And people don't understand that. Oh, you can't do that on BLM ground. It's not federal ground. They don't own it.
They don't.
They are managing the resource
Right.
above ground. They're managing the grass and the water.
Right.
Period.
Yes, sir.
And there's this Hammond thing. They're friends of the family.
Yes, sir.
My wife's family had been, her dad's 80 years old, and he's been friends with Dwight since Dwight was a little boy. My father-in-law grew up right on the other 10 miles the other side of that hill, which is now refuge, was their family ground years ago. And there's stuff like that that happens all the time that you don't hear about. Hammonds and the BLM aren't the first ones that have had issues.
That's what I'm hearing. A lot of.
I mean, I could give you, listen, I fight fire in this country in the summertime. I tell you horror stories.
Were the Hammonds the first ones you've known, though, that have been charged with terrorism?
Absolute first. First that have been charged with anything. I've
That's bad, isn't
I've been
it?
fighting fire in a canyon and had the BLM light a backfire behind me and stick us in a canyon. They don't even get reprimanded.
Wow.
No, the BLM favorite firefighting tool. Drip torch.
Yeah.
Wind and a drip torch. That's how the BLM fights fire. They don't even call themselves firefighters anymore. They're fire managers.
Fire managers. They just set
They
the
manage
backfires
fire
and.
after they've set it. Wow.
Or you take a fire that we've had a lightning caused fire on a BLM allotment where we had cow-calf pairs. We pull up in the stock trailer with 3 guys on horseback and 6 dogs, and we bail out. They've got the road blocked. You can't go in there. It's a safety issue. Really? You're going to stop us? And we go. You're going to jail. That's fine. Our cattle will be alive. Cost of doing business. And charge through them.
The cost of
Literally
doing
charge
business.
through them horseback.
The cost of doing business, huh?
That's
the
what we
cost
call
of
it.
doing business with the BLM.
Yeah, we just charge through them. Fine, we're gonna go
Good for
get our
you.
cattle, and we go get them and bring them right down the road, and nobody has ever got in trouble for it.
Yeah.
I've seen things that I've seen BLM rigs where you either move it or we're pushing it out of the road with a bulldozer. They'll have a bulldozer making a fire line. The BLM will say you have to stop. I'm not stopping, so you move it, or I'm going to push through it. And ranchers will. When a guy gets pushed far enough.
Yeah. Has this been brewing for decades? I'm hearing this has been brewing for decades, huh?
I've only been here 11 years, just about 11 years, 11 years this spring.
Yeah.
But I came from northern Minnesota, where it's national forest. So it's National Forest Service that you deal with
Right.
instead of Bureau of Land Management.
Yeah.
The same thing.
You get a field agent that's got a bad attitude,
Yeah.
it's almost impossible to win.
Really.
And guys get to the point where they say, I'm not being pushed anymore.
Yeah.
It usually happens on a small enough scale where instead of asking for permission, people just go,
Just do it.
I'm just going to go do it.
And
And then
Can you tell me something? Why did you bring the wood up here today for these guys?
so they can stay warm.
There you go.
Period.
So they can stay warm.
So they can stay warm.
Yeah, just coming together. Families helping families right now through
They're
this
here
thing,
doing
right?
something for us. The least we can do is make sure they got.
Would you call this a? They're trying to, believe it or not, they're trying to call this an armed insurrection, or would you call this a constitutional crisis? What would you call it?
I consider this a peaceful protest.
Yeah.
I'm in the world that I live in, and it's not needed to be seen on TV, but I've got a meat tag here, and I've got Marine Corps ink on both arms. And I'll be right here and I'll stand right here in the middle of the road.
You're a jarhead, brother?
Yeah.
Semper Fi, bro.
I've been out since I got out in 95.
Did you?
But I'll stand right here in the middle of the road because they have the right to protest.
Yeah.
And I came here Monday and I went home. My wife said, so what was it? And she's vested. She was born 20 miles from here and never left here. She's 38 years old. Lived here her whole life. Never gone anywhere. We went to Texas for our honeymoon on a hunting trip. And she'd been to Red Bluff, California once. Other than that, she's not been out of the state of Oregon. And she's pretty interested in what's going on. But being a school teacher and taking care of my little girl, she has to be careful. In the teachers at Burns, I can't say at Crane, I can say the teachers have just said the kids should have an opinion. And the kids should voice their opinion. And they're entitled to have either opinion. And the teachers are not having an opinion at school, which I think that's the way it should be. The teachers are in a position, they shouldn't be telling the kids what they should think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Hey, man.
Wow.
Thank you for serving your
Thank
country
you,
at a
sir.
very
Yeah.
important
I
time
didn't
in our
mean to get
nation's history.
long-winded, but
No, that's
a
actually.
guy could go on about this for hours.
Oh yeah, you know
For
what?
somebody who didn't have anything to say, you sure have
Hey,
something
you know
to
what?
say.
If something, what we want to do, like the
Love it.
mainstream media, if they don't have something sexy to put out there in their, 3 minutes,
Yeah.
and they're selling their Viagra, if they can't do that, they're out of here. What I believe in independent media is we have to tell the whole story. We have
The
to
whole
educate the
story.
public. If you think of something that you want to tell, I mean, we're live streaming.
We'll be here.
We literally have, sometimes, depending on what's going on, a couple thousand people in our chat room, and they're starved for information. They want to educate themselves. A lot of people from Burns were telling me, you know what, I didn't know a lot about these issues here. And there's a
What
sense
is
of
your-
empowerment.
What is it
It's
on
the
there?
Pete Santilli Show. It's our show. I'm the
But how
host,
do you
and
find it on there?
if you go on the internet, just look up Pete Santilli. You'll see it. There's so many different ways to reach us. Right now, it's on YouTube. If you go to YouTube, you'll see this streaming. When you get home, you'll say, "Hey, what's going on out there?"
My wife's she'll watch it probably
Yep.
before I get
Did
home.
you get any more cards?
Yeah, I do.
I'm out of.
We
I
appreciate
do.
it.
I have a box.
Well, we appreciate getting the
Can
truth
you-
out. 'Cause I trust the media as much as the government.
Yeah, which is not
Oh, well, they're one of the same.
Yeah, exactly.
They're trying